Greetings my friends. I am Adamu of the monadic entity of the Pleiadian civilization brought to you through Zingdad. Today I will be addressing the living members of the ancient bloodline families. Those ones who are sometimes called by other names such as, the Illuminati, the powers that be, the ruling elite, the Cabal and a few other, less charitable, terms that I shan't mention. To be clear, I am not now addressing the rich and powerful who regularly appear in the press. Political leaders, religious leaders and the heads of multinational corporations are not the ones who truly run planetary affairs. These are people who come and go with time. And, when required, they always bow to the far greater power wielded by the ones I now speak of. But, be that as it may, the bloodline family members know who they are. And it is they whom I address today. Though I do suspect that this open letter will be of great interest to many others besides. It is intended, especially, that starseeds and lightbringers take note of this communique. So here it begins, an open letter to the members of the ancient bloodline families. My dear friends, I must begin by saying that you are seen, known, understood and loved. Just as you are, right here and right now, you are loved. Perhaps it will surprise you to hear me say this. There is so much judgment of you wherever one goes, is there not? You're labeled as dark and evil, and all your actions are automatically assumed to be vile and despicable by those who know almost nothing of you or the long and winding tale of how things came to be as they are and you came to be who you are. Arndt Mug pleads credits South Africa's Arn Allen Zingdad. So allow me to begin by assuring you that I am not here to damn you or even decry you. I am here to offer you a perspective and a choice, but to do so from a place of loving understanding. Before I might get to this, allow me to say that I know that your only real sin is to be born as you were into the family you were. Between the intense expectations that were placed upon you right from birth, the very specialist training you were subjected to, and the derision that was heaped upon those of your line who did not make the grade, you were programmed right from the very beginning to be what you have become, a wielder of power over others. There are ancillary issues too, such as the fact of your familial bloodlines. A pure ancestry that can be traced back through the ages, via all manner of illustrious forebears, right the way to the high priests that served the ancient gods themselves back when gods still roamed the earth. Perhaps you, yourself, now think on the stories of those ancient times of gods, heroes, magic and monsters as myth or superstition. Perhaps you understand it to be the literal truth and know that those ancient gods were actually visitors from other planets in the galaxy bearing highly advanced technologies. Or perhaps you even take the more religious view of matters and hold those deities to be as supernatural as your distant forebears did. It doesn't really matter how you interpret these things. What matters is the incontrovertible evidence of the powerful ancient truths that were given to your forebears and that have been passed down through the generations, which have allowed you to rule over the rest of humanity. Not all of humanity, mind. There have always been groups, peoples and nations that have been beyond your grasp. But you have been told that it is your birthright, your responsibility and your privilege to rule over the whole planet and all upon it. And you have believed that. And it has certainly seemed to be true. The ancient teachings that have been placed in your hands have served you and those like you very well indeed. As has your cunning. Those amongst you who rise to the top are nothing if not brilliantly canny. You have used the advantages placed in your hands very, very astutely. Firstly for your own benefit, it is true. Then for the benefit of your family and to ensure the continued ascendancy of your familial line. Then in service of your family's contractual agreements with other bloodline families. And finally, in consideration of the custodial role you have played over the rest of humanity. As matters stand, humanity today is largely blithely unaware of the role you have played or indeed of your existence. And this is the way you like it. No mom can arrive at the castle gates bearing pitchforks if they don't even know that you exist. So you play your games of power and control from the deep shadows. You cunningly obfuscate your activities. And you slowly expand your reach into every sphere of power and control over all of humanity. And when the sheep stray, you use guile and skill to reclaim the power of direction over them. Perhaps a little war here or there. Or even a very big one. Perhaps a revolution. Perhaps a crash in the stock market. Perhaps even an outbreak of disease. Or a terrorist attack. Or a tsunami of immigrants to give the populace something to fear. Or, of course, there are always the ever-popular bread and circuses. You have certainly made sure that your control of the entertainment industry is ironclad. And there are all manner of complex social nets that you use to make the populace docile and dependent on their government and therefore upon you. And all such activities are each just a part of your playbook that you use to maintain and increase the control you wield over humanity. You have learned, of course, to offer the sheep the pretense of control over their own destiny. But you know that the real power lies always in your hands. Since no matter how they vote, how they revolt, how they machinate, you and your ilk always get what you want in the end. You have managed a number of glorious victories over the years. Perhaps your crowning achievement is to own the planetary money supply. A nifty trick, I must say. And right now you so almost own it all. And he who owns the money of the world, owns the world. Is it not so? And you have also crafted it so that all the elected officials that the human flock believe to have the power, must dance when you pull upon their strings. They have become as puppets to your will. Almost all of them. And those that will not willing dance for you, are removed. Or they are shown a film reel of a brave and proud president. A man of integrity and principle who dared to stand up to you. And how, in full view of his adoring public, he was assassinated. All this, just before he could begin to undo your power over the money supply. In the end, all political leaders do your bidding or they are simply swept away. And the illusion that you grant the sheep that they can control their destiny through democracy is just that. An illusion. Another nifty trick. And the intelligence agencies. What a truly brilliant move. To elevate spycraft to statecraft. To have the real power behind the politicians vest in the intelligence agencies. To remove political oversight from those agencies. And then to control them directly yourselves. Why, you can almost step right out of the shadows and still remain invisible now.